This is MSC World America, one of the most anticipated new mega cruise ships in the world. 22 decks of adrenaline rides, water parks, glitzy interiors, high-impact stage shows, and a dizzying array of restaurants and attractions. It's designed specifically for the American market and promises cruisers incredible value for money. But is it any good? Should you be booking? Because the last time we sailed with MSC, it was a disaster. The experience was chaotic, it drove us crazy, and we swore blind we would never cruise with MSC again. So now we're back to see if it is all radically better, as we try out a 7-night sailing around the Caribbean. Is it now a top contender? Have they knocked Royal Caribbean and Carnival off that top spot? You're watching Ritzy Travel Guide, and this is the truth about MSC World America. Welcome back to the Ritzy Travel Guide. My name is Bill, and it's great to have you along with us. For quite a few years now, MSC has been rocking the cruise industry, offering incredible deals. They've helped to open up cruising to thousands of people who might not otherwise have been able to afford it. But in the process, they've also gained both praise and criticism. Most often the complaints are that their ships are just too crowded, making it difficult to enjoy the ship. To be fair, we experienced this firsthand on their ship, the Virtuosa. Yes, it was modern and impressive. In parts, the restaurants and bars were great, but once there, it was extremely congested. Rammed, actually, in just about every venue. And the disembarkation was, frankly, one of the worst we have ever experienced. Lines snaked around the ship for hours. To us, the lower price just didn't compensate for the frustrations. Now, since then, MSC has launched a whole new series of ships which they call their world class. First off was the MSC World Europa, and then in 2025, the MSC World America. It's based in Miami, offering cruises around the Caribbean. So the goal seems to be pretty much clear: challenge Royal Caribbean at their own game, particularly their new Icon class of ships, but at a significantly lower price point. Since the launch, World America has certainly caught a lot of media buzz and excitement. Just about every influencer and journalist has been invited aboard to help spread the word, to say how amazing this new ship is. But is that true? Is World America amazing? Because sometimes it's incredibly hard to get the truth. Over the next 30 minutes of the video, we're going to go through the good and bad, line by line. We're going to take you right into the heart of a ship so you can imagine what it would be like if you were there, and help you work out if it would suit you. So stand by for a tour of the pools, the decks, the attractions, what's there, the restaurants. There are loads of those, some included in the price, some not. We'll tell you honestly whether they're worth the extra price for the quality you get. Right, onto the ship we go. First up, we'll start with the look and feel. Right, on we go, embarkation day. And the very first aspect you notice about World America is how futuristic it looks. This is the Galleria. It's a 3-story affair that spans 300 foot. It goes on forever and ever. MSC has always been known for its modern, sleek look. And here it's gone almost space age. Well, if spaceships had an aquarium on the roof. MSC does like its interactive atrium ceilings, and this one has really come to life. Whales and sea mammals and all manner of aquatic life goes by day and night. It does feel very immersive. Just for a moment you look around, you could be at a Las Vegas resort, but on the ocean waves. It feels part shopping mall, part sea life, also part jewellery shop. And these hallmark MSC sparkling chandeliers are everywhere, reflecting back at you. The Galleria, apart from sparkling at you, has been laid out as the high street of the ship, very much like Main Street at a Disney park. The designers have zoned this area as the pulsating social hub of the ship. Here, the town interactive bulletin board, letting you know what's going on. You've got high-end boutiques on one level and bars and bistros above and below. It's a buzzing, let's say, busy part of the ship. You'll also drift through the casino. It's modern and flashes away. It's quite large. And the designers have gone quite creative around the ship. You'll find a bright red London phone box, Not sure why, it's not an American icon, but there you go. And behind this phone box is a secret destination. It's the Speakeasy Bar. You've also got a neighborhood gentleman's barber shop. And next up are several of World America's bars and lounges. Everything from a champagne bar to mixology, with chemistry lab signs outside the door. MSC has a long-standing British pub on all its ships. It's back again, called the Masters of the Sea, and in this incarnation it's gone full Harry Potter mode, with a winding circular staircase that leads to the Oceanic Brewery. They brew their own craft beers here, using desalinated salt water. It is a nicely themed pub, actually on 2 levels, and has been filled with props and antique-style decorations. But it's been nicely done. And upstairs is the Gin Project, where they've really gone to town with theatrical props and what appears to be genuine artefacts from times gone by. It's a bit like you're in an apothecary, but a gin one. All sorts of bottles and jugs and jars. It's like a period gin establishment would have been, and I do give them full credit for really making an effort here. It's a fun outlet. By night, it's a busy musical venue. Downstairs in the pub section there is live music, and it's a popular destination. Whilst it looks big, it does fill up. 6,000 people have a way of finding themselves in here. If we could get a seat, we did enjoy the atmosphere, the musicians, and the social buzz. Now, if the pub is full, there is a sports bar, an American-themed sports bar. This is one major addition MSC made to the ship for this second version of the world-class ships. When the instruction went out to Americanize it, perhaps they thought that a sports bar would be the most obvious symbol of this. Here it is. It's quite a large establishment. And again, the designers have gone all out with the props. Loads of TV screens. We were on board just before Thanksgiving, so as you can imagine, this was the place for people to hang out. Whatever you want, singing! Well, there is a multi-purpose bar venue called The Loft that rotates between being a comedy club, dueling pianos, and karaoke. Moving to the back of the ship, we hit the World Promenade. Each night it could vary between being violent blue to blood red. Either way, it was as bright as can be. Number of bars and outlets here, including the sports bar I just showed you, plus Paxos Greek. This is one of those extra fee speciality dining. We pay to eat in here, and later on I'll show that to you and whether we feel it's worth it. There's also a kids section, including a candy store, if you want your kids' teeth to fall out. And right outside Candy City is this huge ceiling-to-floor slide. It's called the Jaw Drop. If you feel like hurtling from top deck the promenade in a split second. Well, whilst we're on the subject of ride, there is a huge theme park right at the top of the ship, top deck. Let's go and have a look at that. Welcome to the harbour. This is a massive multi-level district designed to be the ship's adrenaline centre. There's all manner of flumes and water slides and assault courses. First up, the Waterpark. We're talking high-tech flumes with integrated VR experiences and dueling slides where you can race. Here's one of them. Well, of course, I had to give it a go. Camera in hand so you can imagine it with me. And I have to say it's quite trippy as you hurtle through these tubes. It's like something out of a 70s Austin Powers movie. It's all very psychedelic. The slide is actually longer than you might expect, and the lighting effects inside are designed to mess with your sense of speed and direction. Moving on to the 2 feature attractions up there. If there's one headline attraction that defines this ship's ambition, it is undoubtedly the Cliffhanger. This is a world first. It's the only over-water swing ride at sea. It's a massive motorized structure perched on the edge of this district. You start with your feet firmly on deck in one of the 4 seats, then the powered arm lifts you up, and crucially, you're completely put out to sea over the edge. Suddenly, there's nothing between you and the ocean but 160 foot of Caribbean air. It costs $10 a ride, chucks you around for about 1 minute. So that's about $1 for every 7 seconds of adrenaline. Would you give this one a go? Let me know in the comments down below. Right next door you have the Jaw Drop. Goes down 11 decks on this stainless steel structure that snakes its way through the very heart of the ship. Okay, there's the top of the Jaw Drop. You come all the way down there. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. go! Woo! It's absolutely the quickest way to get from the top to the bottom of the ship. And if you've still got some energy after that, you can tackle the High Trail Ropes course. This is a skywalk suspended roughly 200 foot above the waterline. It features 45 different obstacles and 2 sky rail zips. There's also a kids section for young members, so they don't feel left out either. So that's the theme park section of World America, and later on in this video at the summary I'll tell you whether I think they have matched Royal Caribbean and Carnival or if they've fallen short. That's coming up at the end. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please do give it a like, give it a thumbs up, as it lets us know we're on the right track and we'll try to put out more of this type of material. You could also try hitting that hype button, that's new facility on YouTube, letting them know you're enjoying this video. Still to come in this review, we're going to be ranking all the food aboard, because dining is such an integral part of every cruise experience. Let's follow this champagne into Hexagon. We'll let you know what we think, we'll rank it against the other cruise lines. We'll also take a look at the cabins.
Look at the view!
What we thought of ours. We're absolutely going to discuss the pool areas, as there are big issues and this needs addressing. And we'll talk about the Yacht Club, because MSC is trying to lure so many people onto that. We'll tell you what that looks like. First, let's take a look at entertainment. All the major cruise lines are now spending eye-watering amounts of money on their entertainment, trying to get us aboard, particularly Royal Caribbean. They're spending huge amounts. So how does MSC compete? Well, they've got not 1, but 2 theatres aboard. First, we have the World Theatre. This is your traditional large-scale Broadway-style house. We saw several productions in here, a combination of medleys and tribute-style performances with some high-energy dancing. It is polished, it is professional, but did it blow us away? Not quite. However, the second theatrical venue at the aft of the ship absolutely did blow us away. This is where the real magic happens. It's the Panorama Lounge. This venue is a total game changer for MSC. The floor-to-ceiling screens transforms the room into this immersive digital world. And the seating here is fantastic. Proper tiered stadium seating with incredibly comfortable lounge chairs. It feels intimate, high-end and exclusive. The AV setup in this room is world-class. The sound is crisp, the visuals are pin sharp, and because you're close to the performers, the energy is electric. It wraps around you. We saw 2 shows in here. One of them is called Queen's Symphonia, all about the rock band. This is performed on several nights throughout the cruise, and we met many people who tried to get in on every occasion, even if they'd seen it once, twice or 3 times. It is that impactful. Now, a huge tip for you here, and because the shows here are so good, they fill up first. You'll want to use that MSC For Me app to book your slot the moment you get aboard, or you'll have no chance of getting in. To us, the Panorama Lounge is a huge hit. About to come on to food, but before we do that, I just want to let you know that our review of MSC World America is in 2 parts. This is the first one, what you're watching now. We call it the full review, and we stay laser focused on this one, bringing you the important points. But there's a lot we can't show you in just one session, hence video 2. We call that the Cruise Diary. We bring these out for every ship we review. It goes on to give you an insight into the day-to-day life aboard, what you need to book, the order you need to book it in, and what's important to get done on Embarkation Day. And also we'll look at the port excursions we tried, so you know whether you might want to book them or not, whether they'd be suitable for you. The Cruise Diary drops exactly 2 weeks after this video, so depending on when you're watching this, it's either out or will be very shortly. So remember to be subscribed to our channel so you know when that and subsequent videos drop. Right, we haven't looked at cabins yet. Let's fix that. Now, it's very important to note that statistically these days on new-built cruise ships, more than 75% of cabins are balconies. Never used to be the case in the past, it is now, but a few of the cruise lines are bringing in a variant of this, what some of them call an infinite balcony or an infinite window. MSC World America and their World Class have these, and they're slightly different from a traditional balcony. This is what it looks like from the outside. We're a bit like dogs leaning out of a window, because that's effectively what they are. Where a balcony used to be, there's now a big window. Royal Caribbean and Celebrity also have these, and they are quite divisive in people's opinion. People either love or hate them. Let's see what it feels like here. In we go. So instead of a traditional walk-out balcony, that square footage is brought inside the room.
If you ask me, would I like a balcony on its own or an infinite balcony? I always like an infinite balcony. Why? Because when the balcony's not down, for me, I have this extra space.
They put the window where the doors used to be to the balcony, and at the touch of a button, the top half of your floor-to-ceiling window glides down, turning your living area into a fresh air space. As for the finishing of the cabin itself, I have to be honest, we were very pleasantly surprised. This cabin is much more elevated and premium feeling than we were expecting. In terms of fit and finish, I'd venture to say it's as good as what you get on a Celebrity Edge Class, or Princess, or Cunard. So that's quite high praise, because MSC isn't considered premium, but it does feel expensive here. The design is quite thoughtfully done. There's a divider next to the bed. This isn't just for show, it's quite useful with extra storage. Nice big sofa with views out to the sea, and there's 2 desk areas, one by the window, the other one over there for makeup, vanity, whatever. Cabinetry feels pretty solid. There are USB and power sockets on both sides of the bed. It's amazing how many cruise lines out there cut corners and put socketry only on one side. Looking at you, Celebrity Edge Class, you stinge and only have it on one side of the bed. You also get a large TV with a swing out arm, and the Wi-Fi signal remained rock solid the entire week. There is plenty of storage around the cabin, useful edges, shelves, nooks and crannies, except for the wardrobe space, which does feel quite tight. If you're a heavy packer, it might be a bit of a squeeze compared to the competition. Tiling and the fixtures on par with Cunard or Princess or Celebrity. Decent sized shower, good water pressure, toiletry is okay. Glass door, of course. Shower curtains, thank God, are a thing of the past. In conclusion, we very much liked the cabin. It was better than we thought it was going to be before we arrived. Now, due to time constraints in this video, we do have much more to show, a full cabin tour in our part 2 video, The Cruise Diary. You can see all aspects of the cabin, plus our sail away from Miami. It's always fun to see the port sailaways. There it is! There is Icon of the Seas. I wonder if it's going to blast its horn as it goes by, just to say, out the way, minnow, out the way, small ship. All of that coming up in the Cruise Diary. Remember to be subscribed to the channel so you know when that video comes out. In just a moment, we're going to show you the pools. We have a huge amount to tell you about that. Don't miss it. But first, let's take a look at dining. As with most cruise lines, there are some restaurants which are included in your base fare, such as the main dining room and the buffet, and others which are available for an additional cost that you can voluntarily pay extra for. Those are called the specialty dining. We're going to go through both, but first, let's take you to look at the main dining room. Here we go, and MSC offers you 2 ways to dine. There's fixed seating, which is at the same time each night, or flexible, my choice dining. For this sailing, we opted for the 6:30 p.m. fixed seating. We picked this one because it's traditionally busy, and we wanted to see how the kitchen handled the peak time rush. I must say, MSC is very efficient with their system. You get in quickly, your table is the same each day, and the room is well spaced out. Many cruise ships these days are guilty of jamming the tables right next to each other, so you feel claustrophobic with an inch or 2 between the tables. Not here, all credit to them, lots of space. We were on a table for 2 as that makes filming easier. Cheers! And I do have to compliment the speed of the service. Whenever we were in the main dining room, service from start to finish was about 1 hour, which is fast by cruise standards. You could stretch that out if you thought it's too fast, but the point being, it wasn't an unnecessarily stretched out affair. You weren't frustrated by the slowness. Again, we've been on other cruise lines where you could be there for 2 hours or more, drumming your fingers on the table. Sometimes that can get frustrating, particularly if you have a booked show to get to afterwards. World America is running an efficient kitchen. This is important and it's worth mentioning. Let me run through a few of the selections we ate both for dinner and breakfast. We've got a seafood Newbury here, which is a medley of seafood and a creamy sauce with a bit of puff pastry on there. Surprise, surprise! Escargot is on the menu and somebody's got 2 of them. It's 100% covered in garlic. Now, you ordered medium rare. That is very much medium rare. Beef tenderloin with some creamy dauphinoise potatoes.
Yeah.
French onion soup. Poke bowl. A prawn cocktail. Steak tartare. Moo. Oh, there's a frothy lobster bisque there. Prime rib in a bowl. I'm not sure I've had prime rib in a bowl before. We've had the 2 courses both within about 25 minutes. So we arrived 25 minutes ago. We've already had the appetizer. Now the main course is coming. So for those who want to know how long does it take to dine in the main dining room?
Not very long.
Not very long. Okay, so for dessert we have Grandma's chocolate cake. Well, let's just have a look at the smoothies available. My goodness, there's a Listerine smoothie there. What is that?
It's a
It is
watermelon,
Listerine.
banana, cantaloupe, yogurt, milk, and lime. I've seen many Eggs Benedict coming up.
It looks presentable, but the ultimate test is, does it ooze on the oozometer?
Wow,
Yes.
that is
Just
perfection.
about right. A standout for their formal evening is actually the gala night. The menu did see a significant step up, offering high-quality steak and seafood that honestly rivals or betters some of the more premium, expensive lines we've sailed on. For gala night, they certainly didn't cut any corners. In general, the main dining room, I think, is very acceptable. Is it the best at sea? No, but if you remember the price point, the baseline price you paid to get on this cruise, I think what they give you in the main dining room in terms of quality is more than acceptable. Now on to the buffet. On many megaships, this area can feel a little bit unimaginative, a bit like a school canteen, but on World America, I think the design and layout is actually quite impressive, with designer lighting. Visually, I think it's surprisingly premium, got a slightly upmarket feel. This did catch us by surprise. It looks nice in here, and there are lots of tables and seating areas. Of course, it could get busy in here, very busy, but by and large, it handled the numbers pretty well. So what do we think of the quality of the food at the buffet? I'm going to say not bad. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's mostly North American cuisine with some Tex-Mex thrown in. A selection of hot and cold items, and the hours are good. The buffet is open most of the day and evening. Now, normally MSC is known for its creative cooking, but I think the ships they sail in the Mediterranean, the buffet is better there than what they've put on World America. In Europe, they have some more gourmet offerings, seem to splash out a bit more money. I think a bigger spend per customer overseas. Not to say what's on offer on World America is bad, it all appears to be fresh, but it is a bit basic compared to what they used to serve. Yes, there are a lot of counters, but there's a good deal of repetition and a lot of stodge, high-carb substitution for elevated items. I think it does the job, is the best way to say it, but with no great flair. However, on the upside, they do have a fair amount of health and some vegetarian options. That is noticeable. On the subject of complimentary dining, there are several quick-serve choices around the ship. On deck 6, in the Galleria section, there is an additional, much larger burger and pizza outlet. It's totally complimentary, open pretty much all day and late into the early hours. It looks a bit like a 50s American diner, with various fast foods available here depending on the time of the day. It's a popular spot as it's a fast eat and dash type environment. MSC does have a reputation for its pizzas, and they were good. It also has drinks dispensers for those with a drinks package. You just tap your card with plenty of different varieties. Coming up in just a moment, I'm going to show you some specialty dining options aboard if you want to spend a bit more money. Now, some of you might have thought this review so far has been rather complimentary, over-complimentary, a bit rosy towards MSC World America. But this is the part where things start to slide, possibly drastically, because we've come onto one of the biggest bones of contention aboard, and that's the swimming pools. World America is a huge ship and has a staggering capacity of almost 7,000 passengers. And when you have so many people in one space at the same time, there is a huge chance of chaos setting in. Here is the main pool. At first glance, you will think, wow, great looking pool area, and by and large it is. It's got nice flowing lines with tiered seating areas, giving almost a grandstand feel, giving great views down to the pool. There's hot tubs and jacuzzis dotted around. So far so good, you're thinking? Well, it is up until breakfast time or perhaps very late in the day. At any other time of the day, a completely different story. No matter what others might tell you, it can and does get packed.
Task in the next few minutes, try to look for a deck chair.
Okay, now this is going to be a challenge because it's not easy because people are just sitting on ledges anywhere. Any spot they can get.
It's Baywatch, only round.
Okay, let's see if we can find a spot outside. Most days you couldn't get near a recliner, lounger or a chair. We set ourselves the task at various times of day to try and find ourselves a spot. Standing room only often, perching room, no matter whether you looked on the upper deck or the lower deck, it's likely that your cruise could look very similar to this. And in case you're wondering, was it full because we filmed close to Thanksgiving? Actually, no. And this is an important point to make because I went to guest services the week we were on board filming. I said, how full is the ship? They said it's only 75% full. It wasn't even full. I can only imagine what it would be like if the ship is 100% full. We spoke to some other passengers who were on the sailing before this as they were back to backing and they confirmed it was worse. Now, I'm not trying to paint an overly bleak picture, just let you know a little bit of reality. Because if you're asking me, has MSC World America solved this problem of a busy pool? No, they haven't. Okay, there is another outdoor pool section right at the aft of the ship. It's called the Zen Pool Deck. This is adults only. There are 2 pools, left and right of this gaping space in the middle. Again, it looks nice, it looks spacious, and being adults only, it's supposed to alleviate the congestion problem to solve that overcapacity, but looks can be deceiving. Okay. Now, there's quite a lot of observations as you walk around the ship. Firstly, here at the back, at the aft, you've got 2 pools. This is the Zen Pool area, which is adults only. So far, so good. The problem is that they're really very small. You've got 6,500 passengers, 6,800 passengers, 2 relatively small pools. It's like corks floating around. Those get seriously jammed. It was just as jammed as the main pool section by the time you got after breakfast. Why? Because the pools just aren't big enough. Yes, there are 2 of them, but they are both small. What about the other pool options? Can you avoid this? Well, yes and no. On the same deck is an inside pool. Here it is. It is called the Botanic Pool. Again, it's nicely themed. It also has some hot tubs. I can imagine this would be popular if the ship decided to go on a cool climate cruise, maybe around Alaska, as it does keep you warm. In fact, for a couple of days it was too warm in here. It can feel a little bit like a hothouse, but there is plenty of seating areas. Some unusual rope swing beds which we used. A lot of the time, this pool was the only option you could get any seating. So my overall verdict on the MSC pools, yes, they do look beautiful. Here at the end of the day, if only it was as quiet and peaceful as this the rest of the day. Now, I know this is not a situation that's unique to MSC. Several other cruise lines have the same problem, but just to let you know, it's very definitely here and apparent. Shortly, we're about to come up with our verdict, our summary of whether we would recommend MSC World America to you, but we've still got 2 important sections to cover. First off, one of the most searched items on Google, on the internet, is MSC Yacht Club. Okay, so Yacht Club is what MSC would like to think is the crown jewel of their ships, and they're certainly pushing it so hard you can't open a magazine, a newspaper, go and look online without seeing the word Yacht Club everywhere. For those who don't know, this is MSC's ship within a ship concept. It's accessed via a key card, can't get in there if you're not supposed to be there. It's their private sanctuary at the very front of the ship. This is their silver service, their white-gloved emporium. Think of it as a boutique little luxury hotel tucked inside a massive 7,000 passenger megaship. People used to complain that Cunard was elitist and shouldn't have these first-class facilities. Well, guess what? Suddenly, Many of the cruise lines out there are now introducing them. Celebrity, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, they all have their version of Yacht Club. So what do you get for the hefty price tag? It is hefty, I'll go into that in a minute. Well, it's virtually all-inclusive. You get a 24-hour butler and a dedicated concierge. You get bundled in a premium drinks package, as well as premium Wi-Fi included for the whole cruise. You also get unlimited access to the thermal suite in the Aurea Spa. That is a valuable add-on. As for dining, it's a private gourmet restaurant with no set dining times, therefore no crowds, no noise. You also get additional perks such as first on, first off the ship at each port. That can save you a lot of time. And there are roped off sections of the main theatres. Your butler literally walks you through to the front of the line. Trust me, being led through by the butler to the front of the line will get you some pretty annoyed looks from the other passengers. But, and it's a big but, to go on Yacht Club is significantly more expensive than going into the main routine section of the ship. It's often 3, 4, 5 times more expensive than the normal section. So should you do it? Should you go for Yacht Club? Well, why not if you have the budget? But another way to look at it is if you're going to pay 3, 4, 5 times the price, there are other options. You could go on a luxury or ultra luxury cruise for almost the same price as Yacht Club, and then the entire ship is luxury. The entire ship is deluxe. So up to you. If you want that big ship feel, but with your own exclusive enclave, it's something for you to consider. About to show you our verdict in just a moment, but we were only part the way through our restaurant reviews. Let's get back to that because we have some specialty dining to tell you about. These are the optional restaurants that come at an additional cost to your base fare. There are 5 specialty dining outlets on World America. And the moment you get aboard, there are signs such as this letting you know there is a package or a deal to be had. Now, you don't need to buy this package. Indeed, you can just completely ignore it, or you can buy a package for 2, 3, or 4 of the outlets. But big tip here, though, if you think you're going to buy a package, buy it in advance of the cruise before you get on, because MSC does give you discounts for booking before you arrive. Let's go through them. First off, Butcher's Cut. We dined in there on this occasion. Now, this is their heavy hitter. It's MSC's signature American steakhouse. The room is moody and dark, exactly what you'd expect for a steakhouse. We went for a variety of meat and seafood. Here's the appetizers. Look at that! Portion size was quite variable, actually. Mine was tiny, a little bit of fish, which was about 10% of the size of my wife's appetizer. She went for oysters. Huge portion, practically a main course size.
It's outstanding. Very, very good.
Then we both went for steak, and Butcher's Cut is good for its side dishes. You get loads of them. Almost ran out of table room. Don't skimp on the included sides. There's items such as cream spinach or truffle fries. They are excellent. Now, we do have an extended version of our time in Butcher's Cut in video 2.
Well, bon appetit. Good luck with that.
Our recommendation, if you're going to do just one specialty dining aboard World America, Butcher's Cut is a good one to go for. Right, let's look at some of the others. Next up is Paxos, which is Greek. It's totally new to World America. It's not on any other MSC ship. In the evening it costs $49, depending on whether you've got a pre-sailing deal. They have a mezze counter by the open kitchen.
Because you can get to choose your mezze, your appetizers, and your main course. So let's have a look. What takes our fancy? We're allowed 2 of these. We have octopus. Has that got your name on it?
I didn't have the frito
What's that one? That looks quite nice. What's that one?
Kebab.
Kebab.
Lemon dip.
We got some swordfish, some tuna. Okay, which ones would you recommend? Which is the good ones? Tell us which to go for.
I like sea bass.
You want sea bass? He said don't throw the plates. If you throw the plates, he'll be very, very, very angry. Right. Well, we must choose the most Greeky things on here.
The selections here in Paxos do lean heavily towards seafood and a lot of lamb choices, so you've got to really like either of those 2 to get the best out of Paxos.
Tentacles reaching. Look at that.
So
Wow.
you get the calamari with white fish, shrimps, the sea bass, together with the swordfish for summer William.
Thank you.
Then halfway through, a wandering, almost mariachi band. let's call them Greek strollers, come in and sing a few bars before magically melting away into the sunset. Now, just like Butcher's Cut, we do have an extended version of our meal at Paxos in video 2. Okay, next speciality restaurant you can try on World America is Italian. Guess what it's called? Eataly. And it's part of a chain that you get on land. Now, we didn't have time to dine in here this cruise. There's only so much you can eat at one time, but it promises to offer an authentic Italian dining experience featuring fresh handmade pasta made on site. The final 2 specialty choices are a Japanese and Mexican. We've eaten at both on other MSC ships. This is what they look like. First at Hola Tacos and Cantina. This is located right on World Promenade, and it's a vibrant experience. It's a Latin-themed spot, perfect for a lighter lunch or a fun social dinner. This is probably the most relaxed of the specialty dining. Now, please don't use Hola Tacos as part of any meal deal because it's the cheapest of the lot, anywhere between 19 to 25. So don't use up any of your 2, 3 or 4 dining outlet packages on the cheapest one of the lot. That would be daft. Keep it for one of the more expensive ones. You could consider using it for the Japanese. That's one of the more expensive ones. Here it is. It's called Kaito. You'll have the Teppanyaki side, which is the usual dinner theatre experience with chefs tossing knives while they cook right in front of you. There's also the sushi bar. Now, don't forget, and this is true for every single cruise out there, specialty dining is not compulsory. You don't have to book any of them. The cruise lines want you to, of course, because it's a lot of extra revenue for them. Just carefully weigh up which of the speciality suits your palate and then selectively book. Incidentally, if you're saying what are the kids' facilities on board, haven't covered that. Here's what they've got. Right, well, it's quite a large facility for the kids aboard. In fact, over 20,000 square foot of it, MSC World America does take its kids' club seriously. First off, there's an extensive arcade. It goes on for several rooms. You may never get your kids out of here, or big adults for that matter. It's all called the Do-Re-Mi Land, and there are dedicated space for every age group. And unlike some lines that charge you for the hour, for the littlest ones, MSC offers complimentary baby services through their partnership with Chico for toddlers as young as 6 months. For the 3 to 11s, there's a partnership with Lego. That's the star of the show. They have dedicated Lego zones, building competitions, and even a Lego family parade through the promenade. For older kids, there's a big facility, as well as for teens who absolutely don't want to be seen anywhere near their parents. There are sports challenges and tech-driven hangouts. Everything is supervised, age-appropriate and modern. It's adjacent to the Sports Flex. Here they can do everything from bumper cars to drone racing. And outside at the aft, in the World Promenade, there's a huge open-air family zone with play areas designed to keep kids moving, climbing and burning off energy, while the parents can relax nearby, possibly having a beer in the sports bar, which is right there. And for the ultimate family adrenaline rush, of course, you have the harbour side up top. So kids are well and truly covered. You may never see them for the entire cruise. Okay, we've now come to the most important part, the verdict, the summary. In fact, to be honest with you, quite often viewers skip right to the end, to this part. Watch that first, and then go back to the beginning. Up to you. But let's go through the various good and bad points we feel about MSC World America. Let's start with what we feel MSC is getting right before we go to the other side of the coin. First off, I think MSC has spent some money on the ship. It does look reasonably high-end as you walk around. Yes, taste may not always be to your style. For some people it's a little bit too bling, but the money has gone in there. A lot of the venues are quite creative with their interior designs. A lot of thought has gone into some of these sections, and there are some wow factors. There are parts of the ship that do indeed look upmarket. Next up, the cabins. Again, much better than we were expecting before we got aboard. I would venture to say it's as good as some of the premium cruise lines we've been on the past year. So absolute credit to MSC for their cabins. Next up, and this is possibly the most important part, is value for money. You absolutely can't deny MSC has possibly done more than any other cruise line to make it affordable. What they include in the base cost is extremely fair. Some of their earlier ships did have restrictions on the amount of complimentary included food, but this has been improved with this new world class. There are several more outlets that are complimentary. And often you can get a deal online where gratuities are included, so do keep a lookout for that because it can save you a lot of money. And the cost of some of the other items I think are very fair. Wi-Fi aboard MSC is cheaper than many other lines, as is the drink package that is very competitive, often much cheaper than competing cruise lines. And the main dining room, I think that's okay. No, it's not the best at sea, but I think it's pretty okay. We've been on some of the premium lines. They haven't always been brilliant in the main dining room, I can tell you. Okay, so that's the plus side. Let's look at the reverse side of the coin, what we feel lets the side down. For all of the good points we've just mentioned, we do have to go through several critical areas that we feel are not so good, so you can decide if you think it's going to make all the difference to you. First issue is the sheer number of people. We're talking about a ship that's got almost 7,000 people on board. There are times it's going to feel incredibly busy. There are numerous occasions you won't be able to get anywhere near that pool. Doesn't matter whether you try the one in the center or at the back. Yes, all other ships suffer from this problem, but MSC absolutely hasn't solved this issue. If you were hoping they have, they haven't. So if swimming is one of the major aspects for you, just be aware you're going to be biting on your tongue numerous occasions. You're going to have to show extraordinary patience. And just remember, when we shot this footage, the ship was only at 75% occupancy. Overcapacity is also going to be an issue inside as well. Remember the Panorama Lounge that I showed you earlier that we were really very complimentary about? It has fantastic shows. It's an impressive venue. Do the math. The Panorama Lounge has just 462 seats, but we're talking about a ship that holds over 6,700 passengers. That means that at any given time, only 6.8% of the passengers can actually get in there to see a show. That means you have a 93% chance of not getting in to see any of those impressive shows. It's the same story for the comedy club or the dueling pianos or the pub. They're all fun, they're beautifully themed and decorated venues, but they have nowhere near sufficient capacity for the numbers. You're going to have to go to all of these venues 45 minutes, possibly an hour earlier, and make sure you book them on the app. Absolutely essential you do that on day one, and in our second video, the Cruise Diary, we'll go through the order you need to be doing all of those in. I'm not trying to be a misery talking about this, just trying to set your expectations. Speaking of shocks, going back to cabins now, I know we love that cabin we just showed you, but be careful. MSC is often advertising a category of cabin they say are fantastic. Check carefully, which ones am I talking about? These ones. MSC often market these promenade balconies, suggesting that they're a fun, engaging central location. Well, the reality, and I wanted to be sure to film this so you can see for yourself, you're in a fishbowl. You have no sea view, your neighbours across the way can see right into your room, and you're looking down onto, not paradise, basically noisy restaurants or foot traffic below. It's an echoey, noisy section that MSC market as a feature, but for many it could be a mistake. For me, I wouldn't book these cabins. That's my take. Just be careful when you see these being advertised. Now, what about comparisons with other cruise lines? Are they as good as them? Well, let's look at the main category, which is the theme park facilities aboard. We have to be honest, no. If you want absolute cutting edge, Royal Caribbean is still the gold standard. On their Icon class, you have the Category 6, which is the largest water park at sea, with record-breaking slides. You have the Crown's Edge, the heart-stopping rope course where the floor literally drops out from underneath you. Then there are the shows. Royal is miles ahead with its Broadway-style productions like The Wizard of Oz or the high-diving aqua action spectaculars in the Aquadome. They have more speciality dining, they have more wow moments. They are the benchmark. But when their cruises are often 2 or 3 times more expensive as MSC, then everything becomes much more quickly into sharp focus. So yes, while MSC might be trying to emulate Royal Caribbean, Perhaps what they're saying is we're happy to offer 70 or 80% of the experience that they do, but for half the price. If you can live without their fancy attractions, their surf simulators, MSC is possibly a smart value proposition right now. And despite the crowd and the noise, we met several people on board who said they were having the time of their life. They came up to us and said, please do tell people in your review that we like it, that we enjoy it, and we'd encourage others to come on. So I'm doing that. I'm saying this is what they said to us. You do have to give MSC credit for making cruising possible for more people than almost any other line. For a lot of people, that trade-off of the noise of a crowded buffet or a pool that gets extremely busy is 100% worth it if they can afford to take their family on the cruise. Is it our favorite ship? No, because we prefer smaller ships with a more relaxed experience, because we don't have a young family. We're past the days of wanting loud, frantic ships. But that's just us. You may be totally different, and that's the beauty of having a variety of cruise lines to choose from. Now, video 2, the cruise diary, will help you decide, as it shows daily life aboard, how we've filled the hours, and most importantly, it does take you through that embarkation day process. As with all of our reviews, we do try to be as honest as we can, and we hope this has helped you on this occasion. We have several other reviews of our channel. We review so many cruise ships, and you can watch some of those here. And indeed, when video 2, part 2, the cruise diary is available, it will be here. And we'll see you in one of these videos now.